Awesome. So, Meher, since you're here,
Yeah,
you and Hari can take turns reading.
yeah. I will let Harry start. Harry.
Okay.
So we are at 60. I will open in my book. Okay. We start the battle begins, right?
Right. The battle begins.
60. I don't see.
Y- I wonder if your book has a different chapter. Does
Yeah,
Diane?
but what is the number of the page on that? Let's see. I can't see the chapter. Oh yeah. Three.
Yeah, this copy doesn't have page numbers.
Oh,
It's just one long scroll.
Page 422.
422. Okay. 422. Oh yeah, I see it now. Thank you, Dan. Jai Baba. Hari the battle. Start.
Jai Baba.
The Vanara army descended from Mount Suvela and entered forest adjoining the city of Lanka. As the army burst in like a flood of the frightened beasts and birds in the forest fled in all directions. Valmiki describes the scenes and the event in his characteristic style. Gazing now from below at the mountain fortress and the divinely beautiful city constructed by Vishwakarma, Rama was again filled with wonder and exclaimed, "Oh, what beauty, what wealth!" The Vanaras, for their part, noted the Rakshasa warriors, strength and readiness for the battle, the thick walls and the mighty engines of defense. From Lanka, all ready for war, the sounds of drums and trumpets issuing from the city increased and eagerness of the Varnas for battle. The army stood in ordered divisions as instructed by Rama. Looking at Lanka, he said, "Lakshmana, look at the beauty of the city." His mind turned to Sita. She would have known by now. He thought of his arrival with the army, and her depressed heart must have revived. But he spoke nothing of this and engaged himself in the arrangements of for the army. Suddenly, and without any noise or warning to anyone, Sugriva sprang up into the sky and al- alighted,
Alighted.
alighted on the terrace on top of top tower in Lanka, where he saw Ravana seated clad in red royal robes, like a thick black cloud seen in the red evening sky. The scar caused by the tusk of Indra's elephant shone like the crescent moon on his chest. "Ravana, you are caught," cried Sugriva. "I am a friend and a servant of Rama. This is your last day." And he sprang on him, knocked off his crown, and gave him a mighty blow. The two wrestled together for a long time. Both were experts in wrestling. All the tricks of the science were tried by each. Ravana was at the end of his resources, and so he discarded wrestling and took to magic. And Sugriva, seeing this, disentangled himself and sprang back to where Rama was. The Vanara leaders who saw the son of Surya return shouted praises and made a great noise of congratulations at this daring do, rash and reckless, no doubt, but such as would give the Rakshasas some idea of the mettle of the foes they were up against. Rama too was glad to see that Sugriva had returned safe. Observing bleeding wounds on his body, he said, "Sugriva, I am filled with a wonder and joy at this, your various exploit. But what you did was not right. It was not for a king to rush into risk. How could you suddenly and without consulting anyone take such a dangerous course?" Sugriva confessed his fault. True, it was improper to rush into battle without consulting you. But when I saw the villain who had insulted Sita, I was
Overwhelmed.
overwhelmed by anger and forgot my duty. The Vanara armies surrounded Lanka on all the sides in the manner laid down by Rama. Rama sent for Angada and said to him, Prince, take this message from me to Ravana. Tell him, great sinner, your end is approaching. Rama waits at your fortress gate, ready for battle, trusting to the boons of God. You have become proud and wicked. You have troubled the world too long and committed too many heinous, heinous,
Heinous.
heinous sins. The time has now come for the world to cleanse of you. If you come into the open and fight and die in the battle, your sins will be washed away and you will gain a place in the world above as a hero. But if you love your life, humbly restore Sita to her Lord and beg for forgiveness, then you can escape with life. Whatever happens, you are fit to be king no longer. The kingdom of Lanka now belongs to Vibhishana. He is worthy to rule and protect his people. If you are not willing to surrender and seek safety, then have your obsequies performed in advance. But bid final farewell to all your dear possessions in Lanka. Prepare for death. Come out and meet Rama in battle. Go, Angada, deliver this message to Ravana. As instructed by Rama, bold Angada delivered his message. Listen, Ravana, I am the son of Vali, whom you no doubt remember. I have come as Rama's messenger. The time of your liberation from sin has come. You may, if you choose, die in the battle and attain the Swarga of brave men, cleansed of your four sins. But if life is dear to you, you may beg it to Rama after humble surrender. And he never refuses mercy to a suppliant. But if what I have heard you is true, you will elect to fight, which means you choose to die. I would advise you to take last leave of your kinsfolk and complete your obsequies yourselves. For none of your race will be left to perform them. Look, look your last on lovely Lanka. Ravana's rage flared up like a flame. Seize him! Kill him! The villain! He shouted. At once, two Rakshasas caught hold of Angada. He rose in the sky, carrying these two Rakshasas on either side of him, and then flung them down. He rose higher up and coming down, kicked and broke off the tower of the king's palace. Then, with a single leap, he returned to where Rama was. Dazed by Angada's exploit, the Rakshasas were filled with fear, but they did not disclose it. Ravana too heaved a heavy sigh at the sight of the broken turnip. He looked on it as a bad omen. As soon as Angada returned, Rama issued orders to the army to begin the assault on Lanka.
Lanka.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Hari Modali,
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Go ahead, Mayor Kiran.
Yeah. Sita's joy, Sukha. Okay, I will read from the phone. I think it's having different text here in the book. Okay. The Rakshasa scout. Oh, I know what happened. It's actually Sita's joy, and the sentence must start with Sukha. That should
Oh,
not be in the red. Sukha,
uh-huh.
the Rakshasa scout, went and reported to Ravana. I did my job according to your instructions, but my efforts were fruitless. They were rough with me and made me feel thankful to be allowed to come back. Rama, to whom it was sport to slay Virada, Kabanda, Kara, and others, has arrived with the army of Sugriva. They have somehow come to know of the place where Sita is held captive. The bears and monkeys have crossed the sea and are standing ready for battle before Lanka. The visible earth is covered with the army. There is nothing to be gained by discussions and debates. Their strife can only be quenched with our blood. O king, consider well that needs to be done and do it. And then he added with fear in a suppressed voice, we may yet escape if Sita is restored. Ravana was enraged. What did you say? He cried.
Oh, sorry. Whoops.
What did you say? He cried. Let no one talk to me of Sita being restored. They do not know my strength who talk like this. I can slay the gods, the Vanaras, the Gandharvas, and the Yakshas. My darts can burn up Indra himself and Yama too. Wait and see how this wretched fellow Rama and his army will be destroyed. Ravana believed what he said. He had dwelt long on his previous achievements and, filled with pride, had become foolishly obstinate. Then he sent for two of his ministers and told them, scouts have come and reported that a large army has built a causeway to Lanka and has come over here. This is indeed strange news, but as yet nothing serious has happened. Go and observe the army and bring me a full and detailed report of their strength. Accordingly, the spies assumed the shape of Vanaras and coming to Rama's camp and mixing with the other Vanaras looked all around. But Vibhishana discovered their disguise, caught hold of them, and produced them before Rama. They pleaded that they were mere messengers sent by their king and prayed for release. Rama said, show them our army. Let them have a good look around before they return. Give them free and full opportunity to see our strength. And, oh, you Rakshasa messengers, when you go back to Ravana, tell him the strength on which you relied when you carried Sita away is to be put now to the test. Your fortress, your city, and your army will be destroyed. Rama's darts will pierce your bodies. Yes, convey this message to your king. The spies heard Rama's words and agreed to convey them to their master. Then, impelled perhaps by force of habit, they said, victory to thee! The Vanara army took this to be a fine omen. The spies went back to Ravana and said, O king, we were discovered by Vibhishana and were in fear of death. But Rama would not let them kill us, and he ordered our release. King, our enemies are determined. Rama and Lakshmana, Sugriva, the Vanara king, and Vibhishana, they are all of one mind. It is difficult for us to prevail against an army led by such warriors. We have seen Rama, son of Dasratha. He impressed us as being by himself strong enough to destroy our city and army. We have seen the courage of the Vanaras and their eagerness for battle. It is not expedient to try the fortune of war with them. It seems best to restore Sita to Rama. Do consider what should be done. Of course, the advice was sincere and well meant, but Ravana could not control his fury. He said, even if the whole world turns against me, I shall not yield to fear. Even if all the Devas, Gandharvas, and Vanaras join together to oppose me, I shall not return Sita. Because you were trashed by the enemy, you give me this coward advice. Faint hearts, where is the foe who can vanquish me? Having said this, he went to his high tower and himself surveyed the enemy's strength. His ministers and officers were with him. Those who had gone out to reconnoiter described at length the Vanara chiefs and the army behind them. They recounted the strength of that huge army of bears and monkeys gathered together from the far flung forests, mountains, and river valleys of the world. They spoke of their physical strength and courage, their firm devotion to Rama, their unity and eagerness to slay the Rakshasas. All those that had gone confirmed this. Look, one of them said, that majestic and graceful youth with mated locks and bow in hand is Rama. See how he looks round him with eyes of love and command, and how his glances seem to brighten the quarters and to fill all with devotion and confidence. The mighty armored warrior near him is his brother Lakshmana, a peerless bowman and Rama's second soul. And look, next to him is Sugriva wearing Vali's garland. He is the equal of Vali himself. There next to him you see Vibhishana, your brother. It's not easy to vanquish such warriors. Consider well and take all steps necessary for victory in such a situation. As the ministers extolled the strength of the enemy, Ravana's rage grew more and more furious. This is the way of a tyrant. The wise king is never angry with those who bring him true information or with ministers who give him good advice for his welfare. But now Ravana's mind was confused. He had no use for true facts or good advice. His thought followed a strange line. He judged Rama by his own character. He thought that if Sita could be made somehow to yield to him, Rama would return home disgraced and broken hearted. Hence, he resolved to make one last return with a different technique. He sought the help of a Rakshasa sorcerer. On lightning tongue, he said. That was his name. Oh, lightning tongue, he said. That was his name. Prepare a head which looks so exactly like Rama's that it will deceive Rama's nearest and dearest into believing it is his. When I send for you, come to the park with Sita. When I send for you, come to the park where Sita is incarcerated and place it before her. The sorcerer agreed to do so as he was bidden. Then Ravana went once again to the Asoka Park and tried to beguile Sita. Your husband and his army have been destroyed, he said. My warriors crossed the sea and attacked Rama and his monkeys. When they were tired and asleep, kill them all. A warrior has brought the head of your husband for me to see. Why do you still persist in your obstinacy? Join my wives now and reign as their chief. Take my advice and become the queen of Lanka. Then he ordered a Rakshasa to fetch Vidyutjihva, the sorcerer. The conjurer came and placed before Sita a head that looked exactly like Rama's. Startled by the sight, Sita cried, So then, is this my fate? And broke into hopeless lamentation. Meanwhile, Rama's army had come close to Lanka. The ministers and generals sent word to Ravana desiring an immediate interview. Ravana therefore had to leave Sita at once and go to the assembly hall. Ravana's presence was necessary to keep up the sorcerer's illusion. So when he left the place, the apparition of Rama's head vanished like smoke. Sarama, who was a lady of the royal household posted as a companion of Sita, consoled her, explaining the illusion. She said, no one has killed Rama. He has reached Lanka at the head of a great army. They have built a wonderful causeway across the sea and are all over Lanka like a submerging sea. The Rakshasas are panic stricken. Ravana is only trying to deceive you through sorcery. Sarama went on to inform Sita. Several ministers advised Ravana to restore you and save himself by unconditional submission. But he would not listen to them. I may perish in battle, he said, but I will not bow a suppliant before Rama. I shall never return Sita and sue for peace. Holy Lady, no harm can come to you. Rama will surely triumph, and this wicked one will perish. Even as Rama was speaking, the noise of the drums and trumpets sounded by the Vanara army reached Sita's ears and filled her with joy. She knew that Ravana's end was near. The Rakshasas in Lanka heard the same noise and trembled in fear.
Very nice. Thank you, Mayor Karan. Betty, you're unmuted. Could you continue from chapter 69?
Sure. 69, serpent darts. Oh, I'm a little low here. Serpent darts. Ravana, as duly informed that Rama's Vanara host surrounded Lanka like a tumultuous sea. In an angry mood, he went up the tower of his mansion and surveyed the scene. On every side, he saw Vanara warriors who had armed themselves with trees and boulders. He wondered how he could destroy this vast invading force. At the same time, Rama saw the city of Lanka guarded by the Rakshasas. He could see with his mind's eye the sad figure of Sita held captive within those walls. He ordered an immediate assault, shouting, "Victory to the Vanara king! Victory to Rama and Lakshmana! Polish off the Rakshasas!" The Vanara army rushed on the doomed city. Some hurled big boulders against the fortress wall and on the city gates. Others, armed with huge trees torn up by the roots, rushed on the Rakshasas. Then Ravana sent forth a big army. He commanded it to go out and slay at once all the Vanaras. They beat their drums and blew their trumpets till the sky resounded. They fell upon the Vanaras. The Vanaras used boulders and trees and their own nails and fists to oppose the Rakshasas. Thousands fell dead on either side. The field was covered with blood and mingled bodies. Besides this gruesome engagement, there were many duels between individual warriors. Angada encountered Indrajit like Rudra against Yama. There was a duel between the Rakshasa Prajanka and Sampati, one of the companions of Bibhishana. Hanuman fought a duel with Jambumali, Nila with Nikumpa, Lakshmana with Virupaksha, and so on. The chariot and horses of Indrajit were destroyed, and Angada received a blow from the mace of Indrajit. Jabumali hit Hanuman with his weapon, and Hanuman smashed his chariot to pieces. The Rakshasas concentrated their attack on Rama and fell in thousands under his arrows. Mali aimed his darts at Sushena. The latter smashed with a rock the chariot of the Rakshasa. Mali jumped out with his mace and attacked Sushena, who crushed him to death with a rock. In this way, many warriors fought, and many died. The battle raged throughout the day, and at night the Rakshasas would not stop fighting. The battle became fierce. Blood flowed in streams. There was terrible slaughter on both sides. Angada attacked Indrajit, slew his horses and charioteer, and smashed the chariot. The Vanaras admired the skill and strength of their prince and raised shouts of joy. All the warriors in the army praised the Vanara prince's prowess. Indrajit lost his temper along with his chariot and resorted to sorcery. Making himself invisible, he aimed many darts at Rama and Lakshmana, who were greatly harassed at this attack from a foe whose whereabouts no one could discover, and who seemed to shower deadly missiles from all sides. Then Indrajit shot serpent darts at Rama and Lakshmana. Bound by them, they could not move and lay helpless on the battlefield. They looked at one another, wondering what to do. Lakshmana's grief at Rama's plight was great. As for the Vanaras, they stood round in mournful bewilderment. Indrajit congratulated the Rakshasa army and returned to the village. Returned to the city. Exulting in his victory, he went to his father and announced that the story of Rama and Lakshmana was over. Ravana was beside himself with joy. He embraced his son and praised his prowess. The Vanara warriors, wounded and downcast, seeing Rama and Lakshmana laid low, concluded that all was over. Vibhishana, who saw Sugriva standing helpless and forlorn, put courage in the Vanara king. It is foolish to lose hope, he said. Look at Rama and Lakshmana. Their faces are still bright. They are not dead. Be not afraid. Soon they will recover from this swoon and resume fighting. The chief took heart and did everything to save the army from panic. The ranks were reformed with their respective chiefs. Meanwhile, Ravana had it proclaimed in Lanka that Rama and Lakshmana had been slain by Indrajit. He sent for his women and said to them, Go at once and inform Sita that Rama is no more, that the two princes lie dead on the battlefield, and the Vanara army is destroyed. Also, to convince her, finally, take her in the Pushpaka Vimana and show her the battlefield from above. Let the obstinate one see for herself what has happened. Seeing that she has now no one to look to beside myself, she will turn to me. The Rakshasis did as they were told. From the Vimana, Sita saw the field of battle. She saw Rama and Lakshmana lying motionless on the ground, with their weapons scattered by their side. She was filled with grief. She thought that it was now all over and cried, To this end has fate brought me, giving the lie to the predictions of the saints and astrologers that I would live as a happy wife and mother and a glorious queen. Poor Kausalya, who shall console you now? Like one who, having crossed the ocean, gets drowned in a little pond, these warriors who had done so much lie dead now. Oh, princes, how did your divine weapons fail you? Alas, all powerful is destiny. When Sita was thus in the desperation of utter sorrow, Trijata, her Rakshasi companion, who was looking closely at the motionless figures of the princes, suddenly burst out, Dear Sita, there is no cause for grief. Neither your husband nor Lakshmana is dead. Look at their faces. Is this how the dead look? They are bound by a charmed weapon and are unconscious for a while. Look at the orderly array of the army. Have courage. Be not frightened. Her words fell like nectar in Sita's ears. The Vimana returned to Lanka, and Sita was taken back to the Asokavana. In time, the force of the arrows charged with sorcery weakened. Rama opened his eyes and sat up. Though sorely wounded, he recovered his strength by an exercise of willpower and sat up. He looked at his brother lying on the ground and cried out, Alas, what is the use of victory now for me? Why did I bring you, dear brother, with me to the forest and get you killed like this? How can I return without you to Ayodhya? You are silent now when I face the greatest sorrow. How can I survive you? Where in the world is a warrior like you? One can replace anything lost, but where can I find anyone to fill your place?
Oh, you skipped a phrase. Back up to Ayodhya.
Ayodhya, you are used ever to console me in my sorrow. You are silent now when I face the greatest sorrow. How can I survive you? Where in the world is a warrior like you? One can replace anything lost, but where can I find anyone to fill your place? Like Kartavirya with his 1,000 hands, you with your 2 hands discharged showers of arrows and slew the Rakshasas. How could death come to you? I shall come with. Let's see. How could death come to you? You came with me into the forest, and now I shall repay my debt to you by joining with you to the abode of Yama. I confess defeat. The word I gave to Bibhishana cannot be fulfilled. O Vanara king, return to Kishkinda with all your warriors. You have worked hard for me. You have fulfilled all the duties of friendship. You have my gratitude, but there is no use in more of you dying. Go back to your city. Let me perish here. Thus did Rama lament in helpless grief. Then Bibhishana arrived there, mace in hand. Seeing his huge dark form, the Vanaras imagined it was Indrajit again and started to fly. In another part of the battlefield, Sugriva and Angada were discussing. Why are the Vanaras thus beginning to scatter in fear? What has happened? Asked Sugriva. Angada answered, Do you not know that Rama and Lakshmana are lying wounded? Sugriva said, It is not that. Look at the way they are running helter-skelter. There must be some other reason for it. Then he learnt that the Vanaras, who had suffered at the hands of Indrajit, mistook Vibhishana for him and were frightened. He sent Jambavan to rally the troops by disabusing them of this fear. Bibhishana looked at Rama and Lakshmana. When he saw them wounded, covered with arrows all over and unable to fight, he broke down crying. Is it all over? What more is there to do? Sugriva turned to Shushena, his uncle, and said, Take Rama and Lakshmana to Kishkinda. I shall kill Ravana, redeem Sita, and bring her here. Shushena answered, There are herbs which can heal the wounds of the princes and restore them to health. Some of us know where these herbs are to be found. Here is Hanuman. If you send him, he will fetch the herbs. As they were speaking, the sea and air were churned up by a mighty wind, and the great bird Garuda burst into view. When Garuda arrived, the serpent darts that covered Rama and Lakshmana disappeared instantaneously. They were all venomous serpents, which had become arrows through the magic of Indrajit and had bound the princes' bodies. When their inveterate and dreaded enemy, Garuda, appeared, they took flight. Then Garuda gently stroked the bodies of Rama and Lakshmana and restored to them their full strength. Their wounds were all healed, and they rose up, stronger and more radiant than before. And Rama asked, Who are you, my benefactor? He did not know that he was Vishnu, and Garuda was his own bird, on which he always rode. Garuda answered, I am your good friend and old companion. Glory is yours. Let me go now. When the battle is ended, we shall know each other better. Saying thus, Hamsa bird flew away. Seeing Rama and Lakshmana fully recovered and ready for battle, the Vanaras were enthusiastic once again and resumed attacking Ravana's fortress.
Thank you, Betty. Diana, could you unmute and continue from chapter 7? Well, in our book, 70, chapter 70.
Oh wow, I like the title. Ravana's defeat. Ravana from within his palace was surprised to hear, borne on the wind, the jubilant acclamations of the Vanaras, who he thought must then be mourning their vanquished leaders and slaughtered comrades. He turned to the Rakshasa standing beside him and asked, What has happened to make the Vanaras so happy? Something strange must have occurred. Go and find out what it is. Some Rakshasas climbed up and looked over the wall. Returning, they said to Ravana with fear and trembling, King, Vanara army led by Sugriva is attacking the fortress with spirit. Rama and Lakshmana are both alive. Like elephants, they have broken their bonds. Rama and Lakshmana have shaken off the Naga darts, which Indrajit bound them, and have rejoined the army and are raging about the field like hungry lions. The darts of Indrajit have proved futile. Ravana's face fell. He was filled with anxiety and said, I marvel at what you say. No one till now has escaped these darts. If those weapons were powerless against these men, we are indeed in danger. Then, with an excess of anger, he shouted, Listen, Dhumraksha, why should I worry when you are here? Get together all the men you want. Go at once and destroy these two little men and return quickly. Dhumraksha was indeed happy and proud to be thus singled out by the king. He took a party of warriors and, issuing out of the fort, came into contact with a group who, under Hanuman, were attempting to enter the western gate. In the battle that ensued, there was great slaughter on both sides. In the end, Dhumraksha was slain by Hanuman. A few Rakshasas escaped into the fortress, but most of them lay dead without. News of this discomfiture filled Ravana with uncontrollable fury. He hastily summoned Vijramashtra and said, "O bravest of warriors, go without delay and destroy these wicked fellows." Vajradamshtra bowed low before the king and, followed by a mighty army, sallied out of the southern gate and encountered Angada. The Rakshasas, under the leadership of Vajradamsha, waged grim battle and slew countless Vanaras, and yet the Vanara army stood firm and would not withdraw. Armed with boulders and trees, they killed innumerable Rakshasas. On both sides, the fighting was intense. In the end, Angada and the Rakshasas' chief fought hand to hand for a long while. Vajradamshtra was slain, gallantly fighting to the last, and the Rakshasas fled in confusion. The Vanaras surrounded Angada and shouted in exultation. Then Ravana ordered Prakashta, "Send Akampana and let him have the most terrible Rakshasas to accompany him. Let them go and slay Rama, Sugriva, and the Vanara army. None can resist Akampana's might and skill." Accordingly, Prahasta sent an army of Rakshasas under the leadership of Akampana. True to his name, Akampana was firm and immovable in battle. He had chosen his weapons and his warriors carefully. As he advanced, bad omens met him, but neither he nor his followers regarded them. The noise of their challenge rose above that of the ocean. A great battle ensued. Blood flowed in streams. Dust rose and cut off the sun, plunging the earth in portentous gloom. The slaughter on both sides was enormous. Kumada, Nala, Mayanda, and Dvivida attacked Akampana, who defended himself with courage. The battle went against the Vanara warriors, and they were about to take flight when Hanuman arrived bringing courage and hope. Akampana sent forth a shower of arrows at him, but Hanuman took no notice, and lifting a huge boulder and swinging it above his head, hurled it at Akampana. The Rakshasa's darts intercepted the stone and reduced it to powder. Then Hanuman grew in size and shone with blinding brightness like the sun, and uprooting a big tree, attacked the Rakshasa with it and slew him. The Rakshasa army was smashed like a forest in an earthquake, and the survivors fled in panic from the fatal field that was strewn thick with the dead and spread the dismal news in Lanka. The Vanaras surrounded Hanuman and uproariously expressed their admiration. Ravana's spirits fell when he received the news of Akampana's death, but he found strength in anger and desperation and began thinking of new plans. He went round the defenses of the city again and took counsel with Prahasta, the commander-in-chief. "We must break this Vanara siege. We should issue at the head of the whole army and slay the Vanara chiefs. Myself, Kumbhakarna, yourself, Indrajit, or Nikumba, one of us 5, should take up the responsibility of leading the army out of the fortress. Are we to be afraid of monkeys? Why? They used to flee in terror on merely hearing the roar of Rakshasa. They do not know the science of war. They are unskilled brutes. How have they managed to attack? Excuse me. How have they managed to stand all our attacks? Prahasta answered humbly. Things have happened as we foresaw. We respectfully submitted long ago that it would be best to restore Sita and make peace. But I am bound to obey you. I am prepared to sacrifice my life, my family, my all for your sake. I shall lead this sortie if such is your pleasure. A huge army was collected and everything was got ready for a supreme endeavor, including the solemnization of special rites and sacrifices. Then Prahasta marched out to the beating of drums. Evil omens presented themselves, but he disregarded them. Seeing the great army led by Prahasta issuing out of the eastern gate of the fortress, the Vanaras roared with joy and prepared for battle. Like moths rushing at a flame, the Rakshasas fell on the Vanara army. Look, said Rama, there comes out a Rakshasa at the head of an enormous army. Who is he? Vibhishana replied, it is Prahasta, the commander-in-chief of Ravana. A third of the imperial army is his to command. Then ensued a grim battle between the Vanaras, armed with boulders and trees, and the Rakshasas, equipped with swords, spears, bows, and axes. Exchanging showers of stones for arrows and grappling in death grips at close quarters, both sides fought fiercely, deluging the field with blood. Prahasta's followers, Narantaka, Mahanada, Kumbhanu, and others were opposed by Dvivida, Durmukta, and Jambavan, and slain. There was a prolonged battle between Prahasta and Nila. At last, Prahasta, armed with a massive mace of iron, rushed towards Nila. Nila, for his part, uprooted a big boulder and with it smashed Prahasta's head, killing him on the spot. The Rakshasa warriors fled in all directions. After this great victory, Nila went to Rama and Lakshmana and bowing low, told them what happened. Rama and Lakshmana praised his prowess and congratulated him. Some of those who fled from the battle carried to the Rakshasa king the news that Nila, son of Agni, had slain Prahasta. Ravana was beside himself with rage and grief. My warrior chief, he said, who could vanquish Indra and his host of gods? My warrior chief, he said, who could vanquish Indra and his host of gods has been killed by these Vanaras. We cannot treat this lightly. We must destroy Rama and the monkey host. So saying, Ravana got into his chariot and went forward like Rudra, the destroyer. Seated in his radiant chariot and issuing from the city, Ravana beheld the Vanara army and heard their uproar, which sounded like the ocean. Seeing a new Rakshasa army issuing out, the Vanaras stood ready to receive them with stones and trees in hand. Vibhishana, pointing out the Rakshasa warriors one by one to Rama. There, seated in the chariot and shining like the rising sun, is Indrajit. And so he went on from one renowned warrior to another till he came to Ravana. There, in the big chariot, radiant like the sun, sits the 10-headed Ravana. Rama beheld the majestic and glowing form with interest and pity. A great warrior, no doubt, he said, but he is so wicked that he has to be slain. Ravana attacked innumerable Vanaras and laid them low. Nila opposed Ravana gallantly, but was felled by a fire dart. Hanuman attacked Ravana with violence, and the two fought an equal battle for a while, but Ravana could not be subdued and wrought great havoc in the Vanara host. There was a fight between Lakshmana and Ravana. Lakshmana fell down unconscious, but Hanuman intervened and carried Lakshmana away to Rama. Then Rama, riding on Hanuman's shoulders, gave battle to Ravana. The Rakshasa king was sorely wounded. His golden crown was broken. So was his chariot. Deprived of every weapon, he stood before Rama. You may go now, said Rama. You have fought well today. Go away and rest, and come back tomorrow refreshed and with weapons. And Ravana retreated shamefacedly to the city.
Thanks. Marvin, could you unmute and
The giant is roused. When Ravana returned humbled and dejected, the gods rejoiced, foreseeing the speedy end of their troubles. Ravana entered the fortress, ashamed and anxious. After deliberating a while, he recovered his courage and ordered his sleeping brother, Kumbhakarna, to be roused. Sleeping? As a result of a curse, Kumbhakarna used to sleep for months together, and he had gone to sleep just a few days before the events last narrated. Ravana asked his ministers to spare no efforts to rouse Kumbhakarna at once and get him ready for battle. All my penances have proved futile. It looks as though the prophecy of the Rishis will be fulfilled. Thus said Ravana to himself, but rooted in his determination to fight to the last, he issued orders as if he was certain of ultimate success. Let my warriors guard the fortress on all sides. My brother is sound asleep. He sleeps blissfully, unaware of my anxiety. He will not wake up for months together if left alone. It is only 9 days since he started sleeping. Rouse him at once. If he wakes up and goes to the battle, the enemy will be surely scattered. Who can stand before my Kumbhakarna? If he wakes up and opposes my enemies in battle, I need have no fear. Ravana's officers and their servants accordingly went to Kumbhakarna's place. They knew that as soon as he opened his eyes, he would be rapaciously hungry. So they first prepared and piled up mountains of food for him. Then they made a great din, beating drums and blowing conches. Many Rakshasas exhausted themselves pushing and shaking the huge body of the Rakshasa. The noise that they made with their shouts and drums and trumpets filled the sky and frightened all the birds and beasts of Lanka. But Kumbhakarna in his sleep heard nothing. The Rakshasas worked hard at rousing him. They made elephants walk on his body. They took cudgels
that'll wake you up?
and belabored him. At last, his eyelids opened slightly. As one might brush away a mosquito while still asleep, he pushed them all aside and yawned. Kumbhakarna was thus disturbed in his sleep, which otherwise would have been months long. But before he could find out the cause for this, he began to eat and drink. The heaps of meat and the pots of blood and wine kept ready for him were finished. When his hunger was somewhat mitigated, the Rakshasas approached him to acquaint him with the situation. Ravana's minister, Upaksha, said, My lord, we have been defeated in battle and stand in grave danger. You will remember the quarrel about Sita. The Benares with Rama and Lakshmana have arrived and are breaking through the fort. They have slaughtered and defeated our army, which never knew defeat before. Lanka is surrounded by the Vanara host, as by an ocean. Ravana himself went to battle, but he retired from the field, having had the worst of it. It was our good luck that he escaped with life. Hearing this, Kumbhakarna was beside himself with rage. This very instant I shall go and destroy this enemy. I shall kill the Benares and drink the blood of Rama and Lakshmana. After finishing this first, I shall go and wait on the king." The ministers were delighted to hear this furious speech, but pleaded with Kumbhakarna that he should first see the king and take counsel with him as to what should be done. Kumbhakarna agreed, washed his face, and then strode in somber majesty to the hall of the king of Lanka. The Rakshasas, standing on the royal highway, felt new courage and joy as they saw him pass and bowed low before him and showered flowers on him. He entered the palace and stood in the presence of Ravana, rejoicing at the arrival of his peerless brother. Ravana stepped down from his throne and embraced him. "What can I do for you, brother?" asked Kumbhakarna. "Why did you get my sleep broken? What makes you afraid? Tell me, who is tired of life and wants to be turned into a corpse?" "Brother, you do not know. Brother, you do not know what has happened," said Ravana. "You were lost in sleep. The man Rama has become a real menace to me. He has built a dam across the sea we considered inviolate, and now the Varana army surrounds Lanka like another sea. Our warriors who sortied out and met them have been defeated and almost annihilated. It is for you now to save us from destruction, and I know you can do it. You have put the gods to rout. I know your love for me. I know your keenness and your courage in battle. Go at once and annihilate these enemies and help us in our need and save Lanka." Kumbhakarna, when he heard Ravana's words of anxiety, was moved at first to fury against the enemy, but soon he remembered the whole story and Ravana's vainglorious confidence in his invincibility that made him smile a little bitterly. And that made him smile a little bitterly. He said, "Excuse me, my brother. The warning we gave you when you consulted us went unheeded. Our fears have come true. You rejected the good advice we gave you. Now you suffer the consequences of your error and your sin. You brought away Sita. What else can happen when, driven by lust, one acts without thinking? If you so desired, and you had the confidence and strength, it would have been wise first to have slain Rama and Lakshmana, and then seized her. You have done things without due thought and in the wrong order. When one acts without thinking, without seeking or regarding the advice of wise and faithful friends and kinsmen, it is no wonder if he runs into danger and ruin. Did you not know that these things must follow? Should not a king understand who gives him good advice and who bad?" Ravana did not like all this lecturing. He had no use now for lessons in ethics or politics. His face flushed with anger, but he controlled himself and said, "Brother, the time is not past for such talk. What I need now is not your criticism, but your prowess. What is done has been done, and it is useless discussing whether it was just or unjust, wise or unwise. The question now is what we should do in our present predicament. It is your duty now to use your strength and skill and ward off the present disasters resulting from past errors. He is a true friend and a true kinsman who helps one out of the trouble that has been brought on oneself, maybe because of folly. If indeed you care for me, the time is now to show it by helping me instead of commenting on my conduct. I depend on your strength and prowess. Out of your infinite courage, give me comfort." Kumbhakarna was moved by this appeal. "Have no more care," he said. "I am your brother and can never forsake you. Rest assured that Rama and Lakshmana are dead. I shall scatter and slay their monkey army. I shall fling at your feet the head of Rama, and you shall see the Vanara king's blood flowing on the battlefield. Rama can only approach you if he If he does, over my dead body, and that is not possible, for no one can vanquish or slay me. Kumbhakarna's pride swelled. No matter who the enemy is, he cried, I shall destroy him. Be he Yama or Surya or Agni, I shall eat them all up. In this mood, he rushed out to the field of battle. The sudden waking from deep slumber had completely upset his temper, but when his consuming hunger and thirst had been appeased, he had recovered his balance and spoke wisdom to Ravana. Again, seeing Ravana's plight, fraternal affection and pity made him forget everything else. Ravana was pleased. "O my true warrior, O my brother, what a friend in need I have in Kumbhakarna," he exclaimed, confident that Kumbhakarna would return triumphant, and he now felt like one recovering from a mortal sickness. Kumbhakarna, armed with great spear, was about to go to battle alone, but Ravana stopped him and sent an army to aid him. He covered his brother's big body with jewels and garments and blessed him, saying, "Go, my hero, destroy the enemies and return victorious." Tall and mighty limbed, Kumbhakarna, covered with shining jewels, was radiant like Trivikrama himself. He he circumbobulated his brother, bowed and marched out, spear in hand, at the head of a great army, amidst the plaudits of the Rakshasas, and under a shower of flowers and good wishes. As the usual form of Kumbhakarna, a giant even among the Rakshasas, was seen stepping across the fortress wall like Yama at the end of time or some great natural cataclysm. The Vanaras were frightened and started fleeing in all directions. With great difficulty, their chiefs rallied them and put them in battle formation.
Thank you, Marvin. So we'll continue next week.
Wow, we're in an exciting part here.
Will you stop the recording?
Yeah, I'm looking for.
How about I do it? Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
I
that.
just
Yeah.
realized that
Oh, I see it. Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing it.